that when you get an Earthshaker there, as he gets levels up, Enchant Totem is going to become very, very potent. Also, the physical damage can be somewhat negated by Winter Wyvern, but if Winter Wyvern is Cold Embracing Huskar, then you're not going to be able to be doling out the damage that you want to deal as Huskar. So this is a little bit scary. I think that Wind Ranger, you get a blink on her early for Justin here, and you're going to just be able to go ham. Jump forward, catch somebody with the shackle, the Huskar potentially, and then afterwards focus fire for victory and take on off. But it is going to have to disappear at this point in time. So for DC, we have TC who's going to be playing on the Huskar. We have Yawar who's going to be playing the Lina. Meanwhile, down here in the bot lane, Bulba is going to be playing your Darkseer. We do have Howie 2000 on the Disruptor, and already TPing out to the off lane is going to be Biryu, who's going to be playing that Winter Wyvern. Meanwhile, for HCWP, we do have Demon, who's going to be playing this Earthshaker. Over in the off lane role, it's going to stop on by and drop a cheeky ward. It looks like he is going to do that, and immediately Winter Wyvern kind of has an inkling. You know what? I think something might have happened right there as he gets ready to buy out some sentries and fly them out. So a little bit of unluckiness, and Demon with the sad face does share our disappointment at that situation. Fogged is going to be playing the Tusk. We do also have over here Justin is going to be playing the Wind Ranger, Mason is going to be on the Ember Spirit, and Leek is going to be playing your Dazzle. So already you guys can see a very nice cheery air to this game. It's pretty cool to see teams that respect each other a lot and are willing to show that, you know, being given a little bit of all chat, but in a very kind, collected, and calm manner. It's nice to see that type of thing come out. Now, of course, Fogged here with the Tusk is going to give them a bit of an advantage at this early stage of the fight. Arctic Burn dealing out a little bit of damage to Justin now as well. He does have Thunderstrike on top of them. Mason going to move forward. Does hit Light Strike away onto 3. There's the Snowball forward. Aren't going to be able to get it, but they're diving deep for this one now. Are going to hit onto Yawar. He might fall. Light Strike away onto 4. The turnaround is real. 2 heroes dead. Disaster at these early stages of this game as Bleak looks to potentially die as well. No chance for him to get out of there. Wanted to be able to see if he could potentially take down Bulba, but at the end of the day, a triple kill for the Winter Wyvern at this early stage of the game. Oh man, that is going to be boots. That's going to be everything that you could possibly need, and what a start to this fight. 1,000 gold swing for Digital Chaos. Oh god, say it ain't so. Net worth graph is 1,000 gold for the Winter Wyvern. Oh my god, that was nutso. Okay, let's try and build some semblance of normalcy in this draft. Earthshaker against Huskar is going to be a tough matchup, but they need to get these levels up on Demon to be able to have any type of impact as you get into the later stages of this game. Already dewarding is going to be this Winter Wyvern, making sure not to block the camp at the same time. Going to try and give any type of advantage that they possibly can to this Wind Ranger based upon the fact that the start was so disastrous. They need the Wind Ranger to be able to carry. Aoi 2000 now as well as Bulba just down here in the bottom lane, going to create a lot of trouble. This is really interesting. Normally you would think that you would send the Disruptor up there to try and deal with the Earthshaker, being able to create a lot of problems for him, but considering that they're able to have a perfectly fine lane here where Demon really isn't going to be able to disrupt the farm of the Huskar at all, they're comfortable bringing the Disruptor down here and trying to mess with this tri-lane in the bottom. I don't know how much they're going to be able to do, but there is always the potential for a glimpse on back with the Ion Shell going. Playing yet again, just Demon trying to duck, dodge, and dip away from any potential right clicks that come on out from this Winter Wyvern. A big old scary ice dragon. Aoi 2000 taking a little bit of damage. Does try and tangle on through. The snowball is going to finish him off. Tusk gets the kill there with the kinetic field, making sure that that is going to end up not being in time. So DC losing a couple of people now. Pretty nice for the Tusk to be able to pick that one up. Fight recap. A little bit of gold going back his way. Justin just going to keep on right-clicking away for victory. Let's take a look at last hits and denies now. Lina 10-3, Huskar currently sitting at 8-6, while the Disruptor is 7-1. Across the board, DC looking fairly strong, but still far too early to tell really anything of significance. The fact that the Disruptor did end up dying there is going to mean that it's a little bit less good. So, alright, Biryu mid lane now as well as Aoi. They probably want to be able to get a kill over here onto Justin. He is relatively low, but this is just going to be the battle of the sort of CSing while simultaneously dealing harassment in this lane here. The power shots versus the Dragon Slaves, and who will end up being a little bit stronger. We're running away now as well. Does have this soul ring as well as clarity. Oh god, top lane ended up killing the Lina. Excuse me, so sorry about that one. Lina killing the Wind Ranger rather, and now we do have a glimpse on back. No, already used. Not leveled. What the hell do I know? Nice kill there with the two-man gank into the mid lane. Maybe gonna be able to make something else happen over here. No, Demon just gonna take some harassment and back on out. With no ganks, there shouldn't really be a kill there, I would imagine. So 400 gold swing. So sorry to miss that one. On into this lane is going to be Justin. Eats another Dragon Slave, and this ward is going to be paying off in spades at this point in time. Alright, here's the getting ready for the dive behind the tower potentially. They are going to put a little bit more damage on the Bleak from the Darkseer, but Bulba should really get a kill here, I don't think. Yet again, another kill mid lane. Wind Ranger is able to pick off the Lina with the help from Fogged. This might end up being a kill on Demon, though, in the top lane if they're not careful. 600 gold swing, there's the fissure, trying to create that extra little bit of separation, but at the end of the day, the glimpse on back is going to be enough. The TP on in. Bleak is going to be able to kill the Huskar with the fissure block. Oh, really good recognition there by Dazzle, realizing that the other hero was way too low to be able to stick around there. With no glimpse back up and a snowball in a second, they might be able to make something happen here. Bottom lane, not going to be able to do anything, but not going to be able to find the disruptor either. 1-for-1 tit for tat, but off lane for the safe lane. Take that trade every day of the week. It's honestly just so there's a lot of burst damage at these early stages of the game that you can't look away for a second before something ends up happening. Now as well, continuing to hit away Mason, Mango, and Poor Man's Shield. Pretty happy with it. Another little, that's what I'm talking about right there, getting the CS while getting the last hit also. And here's the rotation. Tusk is going to end up hitting this snowball down one more time. Do they have enough to make it happen? Shackle, don't know, or ended up turning back there. Probably was concerned about something that I didn't quite see, but looked like he might have been able to walk away from that one. There's probably something that I'm missing there, though, because that was a bit of a strange move to be making. 600 gold swing into their favor. Same as EXP. Hear you now. Trying to make his way out of there. Bulba still sitting comfortably. But the big thing, Huskar is still at the top of the last hits right now. Take a look at net worth. Wind Ranger, 2,600. And the Darkseer a little bit further behind that. In terms of comparing these relative offlaners, the Earthshaker's really been able to get everything that he's wanted in this lane so far. Level 5, does have boots, hasn't been able to get a ton of gold from the right clicks, just because every time he approaches the lane, Huskar is going to hit him. But pretty soon, should be able to finish off his soul ring as well. They're waiting for it. Bleak is sitting there with the grave, ready to go at any given point in time. Bulba moves over to the side there. Kind of feels like they're waiting for something to maybe get a rotation and then catch a kill. Justin does pick up phase boots now. Are still sitting comfortable with the Laguna Blade. And Buryu here as well. Trading hits. It's going to be able to get the bounty room, this Darkseer. And Ice Shard's up level 4 on the Tusk. That Dazzle go to? He was hanging out there for a while. Does end up leaving in the end. So thought about going on in, or maybe even just making sure that Demon was able to stay alive. He doesn't quite have level 6. Has been maxing but Aftershock as well as Fissure. Does catch with the shards. The moment where they could have gone for it, but opting to play it a little bit more safe right now. HCWP not wanting to pressure anything. They don't need to pressure too hard, I don't think. Probably waiting for that Earthshaker to get those first couple of items, that way he can sustain out in lane, become a presence in the team fights, and overall just be pretty solid. As we bring on out another courier full of love and happiness. Bottle as well as finishing off the magic wand. Justin is going to be perfectly content with where he's at. Again, net worth top of it, 3,300 of the Lina at 25. Let's take a look at team stuff, see if that sheds any light on it as well. DC, just based off of their laning, have been able to come out to a little bit of a lead in terms of EXP and gold, but it's pretty negligible at this point. There hasn't been a huge initiation, or besides that first one. I mean, the fact that they've been able to bring it back to even at this point is pretty surprising and very nice as well. Lina is going to go on into the jungle now and take out these stacks, which is pretty key. I think that there was a 2 or 3 stack off to the side. There's the jump forward. Are going to be able to catch on to Bulba. Going to be able to make it happen now. Level 6 is up on the Ember, so going to be hard to find any type of kill on him. All right, here comes Dazzle into the side. We might see another TP here. Husk does not have one at this point in time. There's the fissure, catches onto DC. He's onto TC rather. He is stuck over here now. Darkseer, meanwhile, on the bottom lane, able to get a kill on Ember, but this is going to be the key one right now. Gonna be able to take down TC right there. Huge kill, and now Aoi might be in a bit of trouble as well. Do they have enough to take him on out? The kill potentially. Power shot doesn't quite hit. Lays down the kinetic field, needs another kill. Isn't going to be able to happen. Aoi makes his way out of there. And at the end of the day, you do end up trading the Darkseer kill or excuse me, the Darkseer kill on the Ember for the kill on the Huskar with 4 heroes rotating. Fight recap at the end of both of those. A little bit more into the favor of HCWP just because of how the farming situation was and who had the highest relative net worth. Mid lane yet again. Gonna be able to catch on to Mason. Should be fine as well. And Bulba gonna keep on right-clicking for glory and victory. Has taken a point in wall, although not quite yet a point in the vacuum. So his actual team fight is going to be somewhat limited.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Back again. TC with the armlet. Well as Biryu. Pretty comfortable. So Mason now still working on his next set of items, is going to be having them brought out. Should be, oh, it's actually looking at, I'm not sure what that is that he's having brought out there. Oh, it's going to be, his, of course, his Bassi. I thought that he already had that, but clearly does not. A couple of heroes waiting off to the side as well. Biryu is here. Does have first component of that Tranquils if that's what he wants to go for. It looks like they're ready to jump in on top of him. Snowball forward. Bleak is going to have the heal bomb if he wants it. That's another weave tossed on out. This might have been a little bit of an overextension. Are going to be able to get the Ember out of there, thankfully, and HCWP are going to be able to walk away. Soul Ring now up on the Winter Wyvern instead of the Tranquils that I thought that it was going to be. Bottom lane TC hitting away at the tower.
Radiant structures
really good. Okay. Sorry about any FPS concerns. I'm gonna have to try and fix it again after this next fight. Really sorry about this, guys. Alright, Justin hitting away tier 2 tower now. Getting dropped relatively low. He's going to take some more of that magical damage now. The snowball forward onto him. He is going to be able to hit. Power shot. Oh, so close. Isn't quite going to be able to get it, unfortunately. Bounty rune now as well by the Ember Spirit. Running away is going to be YS as well as Bulba. A mechanism already finished off by the Darkseer as well. This is really big. Like, we've been seeing consistently Radiant have been able to take the fights that they've wanted. They've been able to come out to a little bit of a lead, but a few key pickoffs have been the real key decider of what's been happening here. In a DD rune. DC Mask of Death now picked up as well. Bulba very comfortable with his mechanism as well as the Soul Ring. Ready to fight if we do see the 5-man come out by HCWP. I-2000 just a little bit broke as a joke. He was able to make that solid play, creating that separation with the kinetic field, which is definitely what you need to be able to do, and I can't believe he's actually get away from that one from the top tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Still trying to build into his next set of items. It's, the Arcane's now up. And this armlet, TC is just going to be able to do whatever he wants. Like, he has a good amount of sustain with this. Hasn't even taken a point in Inner Vitality yet. And he can just kind of kick it on the map consistently. It's going to be really hard for them to get a blink. Or it's going to be really hard for them to actually make any type of a real dent in this Huskar unless they get a blink on this Wind Ranger. And going for the Aghanim Scepter first means that they're going to need to get some type of initiation instead from that Earthshaker, because solo killing the Huskar is going to be more difficult as long as he plays it right. Alright, there's the TP on in from TC. Ember Spirit's over here as well. Gonna be able to run away. Thinking about trying to go for him, but Ember right now is already a little bit too fast, and now the Bulba just going to toss on out another Ion Shell, keep the Creep Wave pushed on out. Not a ton of action in this one so far. It's been somewhat muted since that early, very crazy start. You kind of get the feeling that neither side wants to commit too much and end up losing out on a big fight. Obviously, they are still both in the upper bracket, and they did notice as well that Root Gaming was the one that ended up going on. So the winner of this will go on to face Root Gaming for a spot at the Summit 4. Another big thing to keep in mind. 1,000, sitting on 1,000 gold. And TC just continuing to hit away in this jungle. Alright, here's the smoke on up. This might be the moment that they need. Husk does have level 6, as does the Earthshaker, who's level 8. is going to be able to find somebody here. Oh, this could be tough, though. He doesn't have a ton of points in Enchant Totem. Maybe if you're able to follow it up, and the big thing they need to be able to do, oh, this is actually going to be devastating. Echo Slam down, Walrus Punch, everything tossed out, and just like that, the Huskar does fall. That is a huge kill. The fact that they were able to get that one, the Echo Slam immediately, 800 gold swing. What's this? No, I thought that there was somebody else rolling on in there. But again, right back to it. They're being really efficient across the map. After the pick off on the Huskar, they're able to move on in and then immediately farm on out all 3 lanes. They're farming out all 3 lanes. You see over here as well, Ember Spirit, the Mr. Mason, he's going to be able to do a bit of jungling as well. They are going to rotate on through the jungle now. Zara is going to spot him out, as is Aoi 2000. So trading a couple of the carries. Are they going to be able to be here in time? Doesn't look like it. Static Storm, everything tossed out, not even going to need to use the Laguna Blade, and going to be able to walk away from this one scot-free. I do believe no catch from Justin quite yet. Oh, Lena might have overstayed her welcome. Shackle doesn't end up hitting. There is the snowball forward. Might have overstayed their welcome. Walrus Punch, no. With the power shot, that's going to be enough. Leave reveals Aoi 2000. Huskar jumping in on top of Bleak. He needs to grave himself, stand alive a little bit longer. That should be a dead Dazzle unless he gets out of there. Meanwhile, though, the Winter's Curse, huge turnaround, and Justin's going to fall as well. So what looked really good at the start ends up paying off for DC as they take a 3-2 lead. Very, very impressive display from them. I guess that it's relatively even. I thought that it was going to be more than that, but the fact that they were able to take down that Wind Ranger, I think, is the key component here, because that's going to slow down her Ag's timing. Is still 800 gold away from that, and now they're going to be able to take Roshan. Very, very ready for this one to go. So Mason now needs to try and build up into something reasonable. Earthshaker did finish off his Blink Dagger, so that's going to be another key component in how well these fights end up turning out for HCWP. They need to be able to get the jump on him. You saw what happened in the jungle with the Huskar. Whoever ends up finding the initiation is going to be the one that ends up winning the fight, I feel like. And considering that we have very aggressive wards by HCWP, they might not be able to find them in the sort of more immediate area. Like, take a look at the map right now and the vision that they have. It's way deep in the jungle, but none really over here by where the Roshan pit is. Right, TC now continuing to hit away. Does have Ion Shell on top of him as well, level 4. So as soon as he jumps on somebody, you're taking magical damage abound. They need to be able to deal with that, and the fact that the Dazzle there had to grave himself really ends up, like, they've been taking the team fights perfectly, where they're making sure they focus down the Dazzle first, so that way he has to grave himself. And obviously we did get a good weave off that last fight. Actually, I think it only caught on the Disruptor to get vision. So a couple of key factors that really ended up working into the favor of DC there. Another smoke going to go on through the woods. Tread's now picked up for the Huskar. Seeing if they can find somebody. Duar is here. You're following him. No big deal at all. Get off by the skin of their teeth. You still have that Blink Dagger on up, and looks like they're going to wrap around. Might run into Yawar here. Oh, if they're able to find this initiation point, this is huge. They need to take out the Winter Wyvern, and meanwhile, the Radiant need to keep the Dazzle alive. There's a jump for it. Echo Slam onto a couple. Is able to get out the Cold Embrace, though, keeping Giryu alive a little bit longer. The Ember Spirit does take out the Disruptor, but he gets off the Static Storm. Not sure if it was enough. Vacuum Wall onto Sebo as well. Doesn't quite hit the Light Strike array. It's still pulling apart, though. Bulba is on a dominating streak. Looks like Hog might fall in a second if he's not careful. And at the end of the day, TC is just a monster. So difficult to deal with. Right now, you're going to see Mason go back off into the jungle. Needs to be able to try and farm up some type of item build so that way he's able to really deal with this. It's ridiculous. So much damage being dealt. Light Strike array, trying to toss out those ice shards and keep any bit of separation, but to no avail. Oh my goodness. Alright, Bulba gonna take on out the jungle. Yeah, Mason he's not where he needs to be. It's just they came online too quickly. It's not his fault necessarily. It's honestly just a bit of that last pick Huskar again. You get that pick, and if you're not ready for it, all of a sudden everything just turns around and comes online so quickly. And if you don't have the right answers to either shut him down early or deal with him in the mid game, this type of thing happens. So, well, and again, also that's not to place any blame on the TC, like dirty Huskar pickers or whatever, because it's a strategy. You just got to be prepared for it to a certain extent.
Radiant's top
Mason, Ring of Aquila, 4-man shield. But at the same time, your tier 2 tower has fallen. There's a huge gold lead. And to shoot towards 7,500. EXP as well, right about 5k. It's tough. This is such a tough situation to be in. Aegis reclaimed in 2 minutes, but it feels like in that time they could honestly almost push high ground, especially if they're able to catch Fogged on out. Falls apart completely. I don't know if they needed the Laguna Blade for that one. Might have been able to save that for this next little engagement, but looks like they're going to be playing the safer route. Instead of going for the high ground, they might end up going for that tier 2 instead. And that's probably the better option. And of course, HCWP realizing that this was going to happen, they push in out the mid lane as well. They're going to have Lina try and cut the creep wave. Does have Force Staff now, interesting. Not the thing that you'd see super often. There's been some issues with Dota 2 being a little bit choppy today. And I'm not sure if that's just me or if it's going on with the players as well, but I've been having a bit of trouble seeing in this one. Well, Justin now still working on that Aghanims. It's a rough life. I feel like it's like in Game of Thrones, that Gendry still rowing. I don't know if you guys watch that show or not, but... Alright. Owie drums. Disruptor is doing pretty good. Winter Wyvern has been able to pick up level 8 in her own right. Let's take a look at the graphs here, see if there's anything particular. I mean, obviously DC's in the lead right now. And HCWP need to be able to hit that big combo. They've been able to really sort of make use of these combo plays that we were talking about during the draft. Hit a couple, like, because the thing is that Huskar is going to be able to be your damage pretty much consistently with that armlet on up, just hitting away at people consistently. Now, if that's the case, all you need to do is hit one of these big spells. You need to either hit the Disruptor Kinetic Field onto a couple of different people to keep them in place, or you need to hit a Winter Wyvern Curse on top of at least 2 heroes, or a Vacuum. Any one of those things is going to end up meaning that you're going to have to just be taking damage by this Huskar. So, I don't know, it's tough. Alright. Items. Boots of Travel, as well as a couple of other things. Tusk is going to get an Earnest Shadows as well. Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker. Gwyn Ranger is going to be getting that Aghanims relatively shortly. Huskar is going to be content with Sanj. Probably going to be building this into a Halberd relatively soon. Looks like we're going to be fine to go back into this one here. But yeah, I think that's going to be a really big one, because as a Wind Ranger, you're not going to want to build a BKB. Bulba is fallen though. Oh man, Vacuum back, not going to be able to be enough. Echo Slam expended as well, and that's going to be a little bit of hate going back his way there. Earthshaker ends up getting the kill. To recap, it's actually a huge one. The fact that he was so high up in the net worth, 1,300 gold swing into their favor.
Radiant's middle tower
And the tier 2 tower does end up falling. Off to the side here. Mason's still content to sit with his Boots of Travel. Yawar is chasing him. Does have a Force Staff as well as a Yule Scepter. Going to connect. Burn through the Flame Guard, but not going to be enough quite yet. TC now getting coldly embraced. In the bottom lane, Demon and Justin are seeing if they can potentially find somebody, but might get found out themselves. We do have several heroes over in the area. They're ready to jump. Smoke comes on out. Owie looking for the moment. There's the Thunder Strike, a Winter's Curse as well. Everything thrown on top of Demon. And meanwhile, we do see the Wind Ranger able to escape with just barely her life. 5 hero rotation for that one, but they do end up repaying the kill from earlier on the Darkseer. Now Bleak, cloak up on him. Aegis just now reclaimed. They've been able to sort of weather the storm of this first huge Aegis that really tore apart their bases. And I think that if they're able to contest the next one, what they're going to need is a couple more fighting items up on the Ember Spirit. I don't think he can go straight Battle Fury here, because if he does, they're just going to, it's going to take too long before he really comes online. Obviously, Battle Fury is going to be able to do a lot of damage once they're all up in their face, but at the same time, if there's sort of this weird dynamic there where Battle Fury does a lot of damage if they're all grouped up and there's a lot of creeps in the area and you're dealing cleave damage, but if they're all grouped up and you're dealing cleave damage, that means that they're inside your base already, and really you want to stop that from happening by tossing out power shots and all these other things. Really the person that's going to be up in front is just going to be TC hitting away at the tier 3 tower. Earthshaker does toss out a Fissure now, trying to make a little bit of a slower path towards this tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, they're trying to trade out the top one as well, and Mason's going to be able to cut the creep wave to secure this tower taken. Halberd, now the item as we were talking about earlier on the Huskar, giving him that much needed evasion as well as being able to take off or add the disarm onto the Wind Ranger. Catches there, a couple of little fissures tossed out, the one from the Earthshaker and the second one from the Tusk. Top lane is pushing in yet again, with Aoi comfortable. We're here, just going to soak up a little bit more EXP, not wanting to show himself just in case somebody happens to be lurking in the side. And Mason going to push out the lane again, and he is going to be going for drums. I think that's absolutely the correct decision. Need to make sure that he is staying alive in these scary, scary fights. Let's see, Bulba now. The mech, the Arcanes, does also have the wall and the Blink Dagger. He's going to be ready to go at any given point in time. Talked about the Disruptor a couple of already, but that's fine. Huskar 10k net worth. Let's take a look at the teams. You're seeing here DC at a very, very comfortable lead. 7,500 EXP as well. This can all turn around in a second. All it takes is one solid team fight, and HCWP aren't taking bad team fights yet. A couple of times we've seen them get picked off or taken out just sort of by happenstance, but they're still making sure that they're not taking any ones that are really awful. I have to make a few changes in this next game to make sure that that FPS is actually where it needs to be. Alright, Earthshaker, Blink Dagger, Force Staff, ready to jump on in and make something happen. He's good to go. Wind Ranger's still keeping up in farm though. That's the other thing to keep in mind here, is her damage is going to be dealt out pretty swiftly, and is going to have that Blink Dagger up that we've been talking about all game long, where she really is going to be able to solo kill down that Huskar throughout the course of a team fight. They are running through a ton of wards right now by the Dire. You take a look at this vision, it's absolutely wonderful. They have eyes on everything. They shouldn't know that this ward is here. I think that that's just a bit of a spectator bug. Both sides wanting to wait out until this next Aegis, which is a relatively long one. And you got to think that this favors HCWP a lot. Noir, with what he has. Force Staff's all over this one. I think that it's mainly just they're trying to make sure that their teams don't get caught in these big spells. I mean, an Earthshaker Fissure is going to really spell the demise of anybody that gets caught on the wrong side of it, with the exception of potentially the Huskar. So if that's the case, you're going to want to make sure that you Force Staff them back over to the other side of the Fissure if they do push up onto the high ground here. Tusk building towards the Shadow Blade. Imagine this is eventually to be able to build that Silver Edge as well, helping to deal with the Huskar. Old Smoke, time for the pain train. I believe in you. Also worth noting that the Winter Wyvern isn't here, so if they do engage in a team fight, one of those big ultis that you really rely upon, DC isn't going to be available. There's the ward dropped on down. Bleak is in the area. This is getting very, very claustrophobic if you're these heroes. Bleak is going to potentially get caught out. Nice jump away. Force Staff being used there. Thunderstrike dropped down on top of Mason. He doesn't want the rest of his team to leave him. There's the glimpse back. I don't know if this was the play though. Oh, Bulba's there as well. There's the Echo Slam down on top of two. Maybe going to be able to turn this back around. Is going to be able to get the stun down, but Static Swarm not going to hit. There's Mason getting caught off to the side with the Winter's Curse. Nobody else is hitting them though. Justin's starting to do a lot of damage. Still nobody to die. Looks like Fog might be the first to fall. Bulba actually is as the Darkseer. Fissure blocking off TC. He is shackled as well. The Tusk does eventually fall, and at the end of the day, it's the Darkseer who ends up perishing for just Tusk and the Ember, and gonna kill off those illusions as well. And so sorry about what's been going on with this game. Not exactly sure what the cause of all that is. Is going to be able to jump forward yet again. Yuar is going to fall. The glimpse on back isn't going to be able to be enough. DC might jump in on this one. If he's able to get a shackle, this could be enough. Nice 4-stack after the TP, and the Wind Ranger is going to be fine to get herself on out of there. The Blink Dagger finished on Demon a long time ago. Taking the play of the day. Force Staff away to make sure the Wind Ranger doesn't end up dying. That's a 1,400 gold swing into their favor. And just like that, HCWP able to bring themselves back into it a little bit. They are going to lose this next Roshan because they don't have the heroes to contest it. as soon as it ends up coming back up, and they should know that it's here. Very long Roche timer, thankfully. They're actually all back up. Maybe they go and try and contest this. No, they're not in the area to be able to do it, really. Justin alone up top does have the Demon Edge as well as the Phase Boots and the Aghanim Scepter. Tosses out a little Ice Shards, getting cheeky. Cheeky with it. Darkseer gets the Bounty Rune. We do have Bleak over here. Still fairly broke his joke. He actually has 1,400 gold, and that's going to finish off his Glimmer Cape. That could be pretty key in these engagements. Another Glimmer Cape up on the Tusk as well. Demon does have 1,200 gold. So it's going to mean that he's got buyback for the next engagement. Meanwhile, Mason going to run away as well. Hasn't really been able to build into that Battle Fury quite yet, and just going to try and make sure he doesn't end up getting caught out. Maybe a battle for the Haste Rune? Do they end up being able to find it? Justin's going to get that, and there's the turnaround Shackle, not going to latch, thankfully. Biryu's sitting here, smoked up as well. We do have the rest of the team behind him. Justin is going to end up getting caught out. Winter's Curse on top of Demon. He wanted to toss out the Fissure. Isn't going to be able to happen. Does toss out the Glimmer Cape from his buddy, Mr. Tusk, and then the Blink Force away. Everything makes sure that he's able to get out of there. Again, a couple of big ultimates expended. But the Tusk keeping alive that Earthshaker. Ooh, Vacuum back. Do they have enough to keep him alive? He's just going to be able to walk away from that one. They've decided that they're going high ground now. They're content with the Wind Ranger gone. She does have buyback, but really doesn't want to if she doesn't have to. And this is what I was talking about. They're going to keep one or two creeps, Cold Embrace, up on the high ground. Huskar is just going to keep on hitting on top of them, with Lina spread out as well. They don't want to end up getting hit by a big fissure. They don't want to get hit by a big sleight of fist. Obviously no Battle Fury is still going to be a problem, but what do you do against this Huskar when he's pounding on your front door like that? The tier 3 tower ends up falling. They've got no recourse to be able to deal with this at all. Melee Barracks does go down. There's the snowball forward. Be a little bit aggressive. It's just going to slow down the pain. They're waiting for that Wind Ranger to get back up now, and she is finally going to be there. There's a jump forward with the Enchant Totem. Force Staff away, though, making sure he doesn't end up getting hit. Another Sleight of Fist and Chains caught onto there. They're going to be able to get down the Earthshaker. Oh, that's not what you want to have happen. Vacuum Wall into 3. Going to be able to pick on up the Huels yet again, but that's a Static Storm on 3. No? Okay. Didn't hit with the Kinetic Field, but it is at least going to be another Barracks gone. And not wanting to overextend, DC is showing great poise in this one. The Shackle doesn't end up connecting, and it looks like at this point at least, HCWP is going to have to be content with what happened. I don't know if they can really fight anymore right now. Huskar waiting for the shards to wear off, and DD over here as well might be able to be what they need to turn this back around. The Aegis just picked up recently as well, and the lanes, while pushed out a bit by this Ember Spirit, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. He still doesn't have his Battle Fury either. Very dangerous. Oh, reinitiation maybe. There's the jump forward. Justin is going to end up getting hit. Meanwhile, Demon's going to be in a bad position after the fact as well. They do turn on top of him. Shallow Grave keeping alive Justin a little bit longer. There's the snowball to the side. Not sure if that was the play. They're going to end up being in a bad position now. Bolbadet's getting caught out a little bit. Lots of damage being leveled, but he's going to get Cold Embrace, staying alive at the end. The only person that ends up falling at the end of it was the Wind Ranger, but maybe the turnaround. Tusk Darkseer is dead. Huskar killing the Ember Spirit, though, and he kills the Tusk. Triple kill for CC. GG ends up getting called, and DC take the first game from HCWP. Well, my frame rate is abysmal. I'm so sorry about it, but thank you all very much for watching. It's an absolute pleasure. 29-minute GG relatively quickly. We'll be back for game 2 in just a second as I figure out what the hell is wrong with my damn computer. Peace.